In my opinion, there are two things that go great with chocolate. The first is my mouth. The second is peanut butter. And I'm not the only one who thinks so. Mackenzie Colt thinks so too. So she created Nashville's iconic Colts Bolts. But why Bolts?
It's so good, it hits you like a lightning bolt, so I called it Colts Bolts.
Mackenzie's love for baking didn't stop when she stepped out of the kitchen.
I always loved to cook, and so I would take a cookbook to bed and read that instead of a novel.
Inspired by her bedtime reading, she would often get up the next day and experiment with recipes. One fateful morning, she came up with the candy recipe that Colts Bolts still uses today.
So I went out to buy chocolate bars, and all they had on the shelf were chocolate bars with almonds in them. And so I tried that, and it made a huge difference.
Chocolate, peanut butter, and almonds? Talk about an inside job. And every single bolt starts with the same key ingredient, rich chocolate.
We have a 750-pound chocolate tank that is full of chocolate. We start by tempering it because that's a process that takes about 2 hours.
Tempering the chocolate gives it a smooth, glossy texture and snap when you bite into it. Most people don't know, but when chocolate melts, the fatty acids tend to separate. The objective in tempering is to get these fatty acids back together again in a stable form. We can't have unstable chocolate, can we?
We go through about 100,000 pounds of chocolate a year.
That's funny. That's the same amount I go through, too. All that smooth, velvety liquid chocolate goes from a massive melting tank into a muffin tin, just like you have in your kitchen. A layer of chocolate is pumped into the tins, creating the bottom layer of the candy. As the chocolate-filled muffin tins cool, it's time for the next ingredient, almonds. The team preps the almonds for the oven, where they'll roast the whole almonds at 300 degrees for 22 minutes. What I wouldn't give for smell-o-vision right now. Once they're roasted to perfection, the almonds are set aside to cool.
And then we mix the peanut butter centers.
First in the mixer is the powdered sugar, then the peanut butter, butter, and some more powdered sugar for good measure. All of these ingredients come together to form the sweet, salty, peanut buttery center Colts Bolts are known for. Once the peanut butter center is mixed to perfection, it's ready for the food former. You'll never guess how this machine got its start. Its first job was a hamburger patty press. They modified it, so now it cranks out perfectly shaped discs of peanut butter. Talk about thinking outside the box.
When the peanut butter centers are formed, we take that first layer of chocolate, then we put peanut butter, and then we put the whole roasted almonds on top, at least 4 or 5.
If you thought the recycled hamburger patty press was cool, then you'll love this. Once the bottom chocolate layer, the peanut butter center, and the whole roasted almonds are in the tin, an 80-year-old hand-operated pie press is used to gently smush the almonds into the peanut butter layer. Some things just never go out of style. But they're not done yet. Oh no, these delectable candies need a chocolate top.
When the chocolate goes on the last layer, it goes on smooth and the finish is beautiful.
When the muffin tins are complete, they're loaded onto a rack and sent off to the freezer for some alone time.
So you put them in the freezer for a couple of hours, and when they've solidified and hardened enough to pop out of the muffin tins, we bring them up to this very special little wrapper.
Not to be outdone by the old, manually operated pie press or the customized food former, the antique bunch wrapper machine is as unique as Colts Bolts themselves.
And it's such a special process because they just don't make wrapping machines like this anymore. It's not high speed, so it'll wrap as fast as you can load it onto the belt. And it wraps them first in glassine paper, and then we take all of those and run it through the machine again and wrap it in foil.
As the candy flies off the wrapping machine, workers are standing by to put on the finishing touch, a Colts Bolt sticker. Then it's off the packaging, where 24 Colts Bolts at a time are boxed up. And then this scrumptious chocolate-stuffed treat is shipped out all across the country.
When you open the wrapping and you bite into it, it's amazing.
So good. Anyone have a glass of milk?